to We Are Live. It's Chris Denman, Travis Terrell, live at the Midcoast Studio in Grand Center, St. Louis. Check out midcoast.media if you want to see all of the fun stuff we've been up to, what we're going to be up to. Really proud to be working with Red Saw Publicity and by Jack. A lot of good people here, and we're growing. So more fun stuff to come.
Growers and showers here at Midcoast Media.
I'll show it to you however you want, baby.
Hey, wait, what?
This hour, we've got some Great American Race.
Oh, yeah.
Fair or foul. Get those in. You know, we love hearing from you on that front. And we can give you $10 to Southtown Pub if you win today. So you can get yourself some smoked wings.
Southtown Pub, smoked wings, comedy, and Chris Denman.
Thursday, huge show. We've just added Michael Palachuk. He's been on Colbert.
Michael Palachuk?
He will be at Free Comedy Thursday.
Oh, my goodness. Michael Palachuk and I go way back to our days. We used to do comedy down in St. Petersburg, Florida in the late 90s. And we would just go up and down.
This is the best improv he's ever done.
We would go up and down the corridor. We would just go like, hey, man, we would hit Orlando, Tampa. We would hit all the hot clubs in Central Florida. And to see that now he's back in St. Louis, I'm so excited to see him. It's been a while.
Free Comedy Thursday with a guy who literally has done every late night show, and we don't deserve him, but come out 8 o'clock this Thursday.
Good guy, man. Went to school with him.
We got Michaela
Dated his sister for a moment.
Michaela Moore.
We were, it was an off and on thing, but we're almost like brothers.
Kate Barton, Tina Deball, and a woman from New York joining also. So it's going to be a star
Oh, a fellow New Yorker is coming in. Lauren, it's cool to see other New Yorkers coming in.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. Lauren Logadici. Is that good?
Sure.
Logadici.
Racist as hell?
Mm-hmm. Not really.
Oh, fellow New Yorker coming in.
I'm
excited about this. This is going to be good. We can talk about our times in New York.
So adding to already a great lineup, somebody who's done Colbert. So you can
hey, man,
give him your script,
that's good,
bro.
No, I don't. I'm a screenwriter already as it is. Don't need for me to pass around scripts like the guy did to John Lovitz and tried to chase him down in the parking lot.
That was amazing. And you know what? Do we like that guy or were we annoyed by him?
We were.
We did a live podcast at Gaslight with the great John Lovitz, who was in town at Helium. And then we had a great conversation. And there was an interesting gentleman, early 60s with a ponytail, late 50s with a ponytail. He didn't quite fit the normal live podcast crowd, which we're a show that attracts all folks, even future Chris Gardner, as this guy was. But what do we like his moxie seeking out John Lovitz to hand him a script, a handwritten script, or is that crossing the line, bro?
That crosses every line.
What the hell? Buy a watch. Be early and you won't be late.
And guess what I did? All because of John Lovitz.
He bought a watch.
Bought a watch.
Travis, you late again. Travis.
Didn't work.
I was on time today.
Literally on the time.
I was on the time. We normally start the show at, 8:01?
Start at 8 a.m. on the dot.
No, we do not start at 8
We do.
on the dot. We do.
I actually start
Gardner, look at me in my
physically,
face.
start getting
look at me in my
physically
face.
ill.
Do we often start at 8 on the dot?
Yes.
Like 51:49?
What do you mean 51:49?
Like when I say often, like the majority of the time we start at 8:01.
No,
49% of the time we start at 8:01.
probably not. No.
40% of the time we start at 8:01.
Say 70% of the time we start at 8.
Yeah.
I would completely disagree with those.
What were
numbers.
you
The
gonna
guy
say?
running
Were
it
you
and
gonna say
starting.
digress? Were you going to say I digress?
I would stop this digression.
Maneuver, sit your ass down.
I was Genuver, her brother.
Oh, hey, Genuver.
What's up, dude?
Hi. Where's
Are you gonna make me do the whole family?
Yeah.
Where's he from?
So where you? Genuva, tell everybody where you're from.
Up the street. Why?
Oh, okay. Where
Why
is
you asking?
Where is Maneuver today?
Who's the question? I don't know. Ain't my kid. You know what I mean, dude?
That's your sister, man. You should at least know where she is.
Probably chasing you, punk.
Why I gotta be a punk? I ain't even say nothing to you. Why you gotta
Whack ass shoes.
Why y'all family gotta be so disrespectful on this show?
What show? That bullshit you do on Facebook?
Hey man, that ain't necessary to do all that, man. We up here trying to.
I thought you were going to see Big Bird, bitch.
Why is it necessary to call me that word? You and your sister. I don't get it.
I gotta get to work, man. I don't talk to you. See ya.
Where you work at there, Genuva?
Head of accounts management at Enterprise. I gave him a good job, man. They can't all be
That is a good
serious.
job. That's a good job. Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Remember when I graduated a year before you?
Oh, that's
Got my bachelor's real quick, bitch.
good for you, Genouver.
And I can kick your ass.
That's a delightful family.
Hang on, there she is. Hey, what up, fool?
Maneuver. Hey, girl, what's good? Nothing. We're just
Nothing
leaving.
on your face, that's for sure.
Maneuver, why aren't you in school? It is late.
You watch Chris Rock over the weekend?
I didn't
I
get
got to stay up late.
Oh, okay. Well, it's school time. It's 9:20, baby.
You know,
girl.
there's
It's
two
gotta-
kinds of black people.
Oh boy. Oh no. Maneuver. You don't know Maneuver. You cannot finish this joke
yes, he
on this
cannot.
show. All right.
She
All right,
cannot.
Maneuver, let's hear it
You
then.
wanna-
What are the two kinds of black people, Maneuver? Tell us, please.
Good and great.
Okay.
That's what Mama said.
Thanks, Maneuver. We should really appreciate it. Thank you.
You want to go to the mall?
No, you need to go to class now. Just
I quit.
you can't quit school.
I beat that teacher's ass.
Maneuver, you ain't beat nobody ass. Just relax and go to class.
Remember when your bitch ass tried to play kickball with us?
I did very well. I kicked the ball.
You run like my Uncle Didi.
Who, the Uncle Didi can't run?
Not too good. He's
Maneuver.
got 1 foot.
Oh. Maneuver now.
Mama said it got real sweet.
What? So, what happened to your uncle's foot?
He ain't too much candy.
Oh.
Looks like that's gonna happen to you too.
Maneuver, that
You
is
want to borrow
rude.
his chair?
No, Maneuver, that is uncalled for.
Fat ass.
Thanks, Maneuver. We have to get back to the rundown. Absolutely.
You always crutch on that rundown.
Yeah, I'm just saying. We got
Bitch.
certain. Why is that? Just trying to do a job.
Read a
here.
book, put. Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Let's go. What happened?
I'm starting to wonder if, like,
When I was
Chris
gone, what happened?
started to think he's using this character to get some things off his chest.
Like
Remember
Clint
that time 8
Eastwood
years
in
ago?
every movie.
Yeah, like Clint Eastwood.
Remember that time 8 years ago you didn't finish the dishes?
Like, oh
You're
boy.
punk, man.
Maneuver. That's interesting because you weren't born then, Maneuver. How did you get a hold of that information?
I heard you were an idiot, man.
Nah,
I don't like
Maneuver.
it.
Chris just thought.
Just
Remember that girl you dated back in 06?
Oh, man. She was ugly.
She was ugly as hell. Wait, man, you weren't even around for that. It got pretty heavy quick. Boys and girls, we like to do a part
Oh, this is where he
in
jumps
the
in.
show where
Go ahead.
we break down the intricacies of race relations here in this country. A lot of shows are afraid to go there, but we like to take a deep dive into finding out the psychosis that is centered around racism. And so,
What? No, are you
this
trying to
particular-
set the table for yourself?
So this show, this particular segment, though, is our way of highlighting some important things that go on in both black and white communities here in America. And then we ultimately determine which race is better. It's time for the great American race. We don't have music for this one. I keep
Nope.
forgetting that this is the segment that doesn't have an intro. Remind me to work on a jingle. The race is great unless it's great American race. Make it happen now. Black or white and sometimes Asian too. We get it all together so you don't have to. Great
pretty good.
American race.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No,
It's
that's
better
not
than
bad.
my Chariots of Fire choice, too.
Thank God.
Why'd you use
Dum, dum,
psychosis?
dum, dum.
The word psychosis.
He heard it over the weekend in a
Were
movie
you
or
reading
something.
Alex Jones stuff and
Ooh.
Oh my.
deposition and testimony?
Yes.
Here, I know
I
how to do
love
this.
finding the source of things.
Yeah, that's
I watched a Rogan podcast.
Oh, good. You learned something then.
It's the only way you can get around in these days.
or you watched InfoWars with Joe Rogan.
Why you got to keep bringing that up, guy? He owed the guy an appearance. He
Jesus.
kept his word.
He owed him an appearance.
I didn't. All I
Oh,
did was
God.
see all I did was see a still, and Joe had on a jacket, a T-shirt, and a hat pulled down like real far over.
Right, I was like, you own the shit. We know who you are, Joe
Yeah.
Rogan.
Did you
we
see
know
that?
that's you.
Did you see
Yeah,
that?
Joe Rogan up here. Yeah, like
If you can't see.
I'm Bo Dogan. If you that ashamed to be on the show, man, don't go. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm Marvis Morel. Are you, sir?
So you're
Yeah,
calling out Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I ain't have to call out Joe Rogan. I just think Joe Rogan.
You don't think anything.
I think he should be better than that, but he's clearly not. But anything for downloads, that's cool.
You think
If
that's
you
what it is?
If it's about attention, it's about being the
You think that's
center
what
of
it
the
is?
podcast world.
I think that guy squashed a beef really easy by going on and making an appearance.
I think if you're gonna go on Alex Jones' show and not slap the living taste out of his mouth, then what's the point of going on Alex Jones' show?
I'd like to see you and Alex Jones
I would
debate.
there's no debating. There won't be debate. It will be nothing but violence. I choose violence.
I never sucked any ding dongs.
If I
Yes, you
ever
did.
see Alex Jones in the streets of St. Louis,
What if he
I
gave you a
would
really
bring-
good strain?
I ain't smoking nothing what Alex Jones is touching. Man, why would I want to touch that?
I saw he got shouted out of a fried chicken joint.
I saw that as
He
well.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Oh boy. Boy, I do not
Looks
want
like
to
Alex is packing back on the pounds too. Man, he looked like
pay
that.
attention to his physical fitness.
I mean, if he's the same shape as you, then yeah. Take that maneuver. I have a feeling maneuver's gonna come back and just...
Keep my name out your mouth.
See, I should have known. See, it's crazy how all of a sudden I say something
your
about
fault.
Chris, maneuver jumps out of nowhere. That's just weird.
That's
I
a
think
nice.
it's odd.
That's a nice luxury.
That is a nice luxury.
Hey, I'm not saying it. Maneuver is.
So I think we realize this
Shut
is
your
not-
bitch ass up. Wait a minute, what? We weren't even switching. What is happening?
Not me.
Yeah, and I didn't even coordinate with Gardner. There was no camera switch or anything. It was very obvious that I was doing the voice.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
About that?
My cover's blown.
Oh.
Everybody thought a sassy 6.5-year-old elementary black child was here hanging
A lot
out.
of people did think that. A lot of people did.
The people who view on Facebook.
Yeah,
Thank you for
specifically
sharing the
that.
feed, by the way.
So and today's
Oh,
Great
this is gonna
American
be a-
Race
this is gonna be an
is
ass
going to be a
whooping.
good one because Chris, you know it's going to be good when Chris gets his in like 3 days early. And so Chris had his ready to roll.
Listen, just like you and Make It Racist, this stuff already exists.
I
I just present it to you.
Well, I don't like you guys using my weapons against me. It's a smart play. Very, very strong play.
Travis,
Yes.
I had to veto your original story.
I did. Do you want to
I
tell the
don't-
people the
Chris-
original
Chris-
story?
Chris
Yeah.
did not know this.
So
Yeah.
tell people what the Great American Race is. Well, you already did.
I
kinda.
did.
I mean, in a weird, stupid.
I think I did.
His own
un-
unique
yeah,
way.
yes, that's
So-
how he does everything.
So you each provide a story, right?
Yes.
And that does what? What's it supposed to do?
This story is supposed to put each other's community in negative lights
Okay.
to the point where you, the great arbiter Chris Gardner, then will ultimately determine should points be removed from that person's race based on the story that we present.
Right. We have a credit score,
We do, starting at 850.
right? So each of you start with 850.
We start at 850 today.
because normally
We wouldn't.
you would be
It's
lesser than that.
less. Generally, I would start off at 750 because the American
Societal-
financial system is designed to keep black and brown people from actually prospering.
you know
it's
what?
actually in there. It's weird. They didn't even redact it.
Yeah. I wanted you to start equal to that.
I appreciate that.
April Fools!
What?
There you go, Travis.
All right, so
All right,
Travis is
I'll
already
give
down.
you 800. You could start at 800.
Oh,
How
okay.
about
Thanks.
that?
Thanks.
There you go.
So 850 versus 800 to start off the month of April. It is April 1st.
800.
So this is the first round, the first salvo
Yes.
in the Great American Race.
Yes.
Who would like to kick it off? Mr. Denman? It is your month.
Sure.
I shall start off with you.
Oh, this is an easy one.
Oh,
You're familiar with the artist known as Cardi B.
Hey, Cardi.
You said she was the truth, I believe, on this show.
She is the
And
truth.
you've been
She is
claiming
delightful.
her. You've been claiming her for her entire rising star of a career.
She
Is
has
that
had
correct?
a great run.
Cardi B recently announced, actually resurfaced. She said this on a video from 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay.
Formerly, in her past life as an exotic dancer,
No, my.
she would trick men, go back to their hotels or apartments, and proceed to drug and rob them. No shame. She says it was part of what she did to survive. Seemed like she was very okay with it. And until there was a bunch of backlash, didn't really have much remorse. Cardi B has incapacitated people on purpose for the purpose
Oh.
of robbing and humiliating these men.
Oh, Travis.
This, I don't even really need to talk about it much because you're not getting out of it.
Oh, no.
Now, I could see, well, so-and-so gets tired. I like to go play video games, when they take a nap. That's fine. Drugging and then robbing. The robbing part, always frowned upon, but then you throw in the controlled substance thing.
The drugging is particularly heinous.
Pretty bad. Run a lot of risks. People could have had counter medications. A lot of people could have died. And on top of it, is she getting appropriate backlash for doing something heinous like this? I don't think so. So today, you're not going to be able to climb this mountain, pal.
I think you said some truths.
Some
Truths there, Mr.
I'm
Devlin.
sorry, do you support drugging
I do
victims
not.
and then robbing them? Although you've threatened to rob white people all the time.
I wouldn't say that specifically, but
I mean,
think-
that was your exact quote.
I don't think I've said that verbatim.
You said you ride the metro just to see if you can rob white people.
I don't think I don't.
On my life, I will kidnap a white baby.
Nah,
Also illegal.
that's taken out of context.
What?
So taken out of context. But that's not here or there. We're here to discuss your story about Cardi. The fact is that what Cardi did was indeed not appropriate, certainly illegal.
I mean, there you go. There you go.
However, I will say that she was a product of a male-dominant system that's
excuse me?
meant to exploit young black women and their bodies for sex. It's been the case for centuries. We saw it during slavery. We saw it during...
Oh, a slavery poll.
So to see that this is just a reaction of a system that was created by men, generally powerful white men, and that she in turn reacted the way that she did, I think we have to consider the context. We have to consider the environment. Obviously, by no means, I'm not sitting here today and saying what she did was right, but I will say what she was doing was a common reaction to someone living inside of a system that only gave her a limited amount of options in order for her to
Is
survive.
there America where she chose this profession,
She
which
was-
ultimately
she
led to her
knew-
to being one of the most popular artists in the country
Well,
now?
I think that's just the power of her using her voice to turn it into something that can galvanize women everywhere. And
By
I think
drugging and robbing.
And I think she recognizes that behavior is obviously frowned upon. And
I believe
something
you
that
said it was
she would-
illegal.
I think in certain cities, I believe that I'm no lawyer. I'm not going to pretend to be one, and you
Thank
shouldn't
you.
either, because she wasn't arrested. She did not go to jail. No one died. No one was harmed.
That
in this
you're aware
particular
of.
case. And so I think what Cardi, what she did was wrong, but also being a product of a system that gave her very little options for survival. And when you're in a situation when you're trying to put food on the table, when you're trying to make it to the next day and take care of your rent and your bills and the people that you're charged
You're doing
with
a lot of
taking care
dancing for something
No,
that's
I'm not
extremely
dancing. No,
illegal.
I think sometimes when we look
Have
at
you ever
crime,
drugged anyone?
I think we often look at crime and we look at it in a vacuum. We just simply think, oh, that person did something bad, so it happened. There's no other reason as to why someone would commit a crime.
But
And a
what
lot of
about her
time-
lack of remorse?
I believe she has remorse. I think she recognizes that was inappropriate behavior,
No,
and
she said she had to do what she had to do.
she did
I
have
will
to
say
do what
she also did say, I'm not proud of it.
She's not proud of it, and I can understand that.
Should she get an award for that?
I don't think so. No,
You can't
but
rob a bank and be like, I'm not proud of it, but
Well,
I still get to
but
keep
we
the
do
money.
see, but we see people in society all the time who do things more egregious than this, and they barely get a slap on the
Oh.
wrist. We see politicians.
Oh, wow.
We
He's
see
getting into the
politicians
cadence.
who have sat up here and acknowledged on camera that they have sexually assaulted women, and they go on and win their party's nomination and eventually become
Excellent.
president of the United States. I don't understand.
Excellent deflection.
We look at a situation here where a company use their means and resources and their friends in big government to harass a private citizen. We saw that with Jeff Bezos.
What?
The man,
What
we
is
saw,
it?
we
Was
saw
Jeff Bezos
his-
one of the people that was
his
drugged?
text being hacked. And we stood up here and we let a man in Brett Kavanaugh become Supreme Court Justice. So I'm not going to sit up here and just set the world on fire because Cardi B did something criminal when the criminals that currently exist have the most powerful positions in the world right now. So I just
A lot of
think
deflecting.
I'm not deflecting at all. I just think there's an individual that has been accused of sexual harassment several times over that is acknowledged on camera that they sexual harass people, and they have yet to face those consequences. So how dare we then turn that system that was created by the same powerful white men to then now chastise this poor black brown
Swinging
woman
there.
who, in
Swinging
order
it
for her
there.
to pay for her rent, to put
God
food on the
bless
table,
Trumpy Bear.
for her to be able to provide for her kids, to provide for her community and the people in her household. She did something bad. She's not proud of it, but she had to do it just to make it to the next day. And that should be more of a critique on society than it does on Cardi B. Cardi B reacted because society told her that's the only way she could make it.
She made a selfish
So this should be a
choice.
critique of America and capitalism instead of Cardi B, who's out here, who acknowledges that she did wrong, but she did it for good. What about Batman?
So
Batman,
you support
Batman
it.
could be a vigilante. He could be a millionaire. He can put on a mask and beat up poor
fictional
people, and
character.
he gets a movie.
It's a fictional character.
He gets a film. Bruce Wayne sits up here all proud and mighty. He could use his money for good, but what does he do? He puts on a cowl, and then he goes out into poor communities and beats up the mentally challenged. And you want to sit up here and chastise
think
Cardi
that's the
B?
movie,
That is unbelievable.
This
You
is
people
taking a
blow me
real turn.
away.
This is as bad as Cardi B's
Unbelievable, and I
music.
cannot believe you guys would behave this way. No one said anything about when Elvis was sleeping with 14-year-olds. Y'all all of a sudden forget about that.
I don't think that has.
Y'all
anything
don't
to
say
do-
anything about Rob Lowe releasing a sex tape when he was having sex with 15-year-olds. Y'all forget about that. But y'all want to sit up here and go after Cardi B? Y'all don't say nothing about Brett Kavanaugh. You say nothing about Donald Trump.
What do you want
say
me to say
nothing
about
about
Brett
these
Kavanaugh?
problems.
What is
What do you want?
happening
What is this? Is unbelievable. You don't say anything. You see Eric Greitens. Now he can go about, have a
I
mistress,
got him fired.
abuse
What do
her.
you want more? Do you want from me? I got the man fired.
Good job. Thank you. I appreciate that. Fact of the matter is.
No, the fact of the matter is, you brought up Rob Lowe. Now you brought
I was
me
going
into
to say,
this.
is this your?
You brought up Rob Lowe. How many seasons of The West Wing did you watch? Did you
Man,
protest
I
that?
didn't have the internet.
It was actually
there.
proven he was
I didn't
tricked.
have-
Also,
I didn't have
the girls were at a
internet there.
bar.
I didn't have the internet there. It don't defeat the fact that you had sex with a 15-year-old.
She was 16 or 17.
Man, oh, she, my
Rob Lowe
ass.
was the
I'm not-
It was the babysitter.
He was
Rob
20.
Lowe. Oh.
Huh? I thought they were two girls that were at a
Nah,
bar.
huh? See,
No,
no, I didn't know. It ain't like that. Nope.
Yeah, there's a
Nope.
babysitter involved.
So until those men,
the ones that
until
they
those
videoed
men
him?
face the music,
I know
y'all so
about
quick
the
to put a
tape,
woman
but
on the
there's-
bus.
There's a babysitter.
Oh, okay. I
there's
was
a
talking
tape.
about the tape.
No, there's tape.
He's got
So Cardi B drugged and robbed.
somehow it led to this.
Society.
Did you
So
just bring up Rob Lowe because you heard the word Rob?
No, I'm just saying. I just think that it's amazing that you guys would throw a woman under the bus in a system that's created by men. But okay, if that's your big story to go after Cardi B, then so be it.
All right, Travis. I want to let people know here too. I had to veto your original story
Oh boy.
because it involved a car crash and 3 people dying, including an infant.
There was
And I
a
was
story.
like, "No, Travis, we're not doing this."
Okay, there was a heavy story about a young white
You
lady
went with manslaughter.
who hit 3 people because she was texting on her phone, and it's crazy. Something happened. She didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? She didn't go to jail at all. So that was initially going to be my story.
I
But
vetoed.
you vetoed because it was a little bit heavy, maybe too dark for Great American Race. But that's okay, because I believe I've come through with the most whitest white thing in the history of whiteness. The story took place about a few weeks ago. It was about a man who claimed in an article they had used him for their hipster photo. And he was ticked off because
Is
he
that
was...
Skylar from Gateway Powder Coating? If he had a
Damn,
beard.
that's cold.
Sorry, go ahead.
So the gentleman was mad at the article about hipsters looking alike, and he said it was him that they had used in the article, when it turned out it wasn't him. It was another white guy that looked exactly like him. Do all hipsters look alike? A new article in the MIT Technology Review suggests yes, and a man's angry response to his purported photo with the story all but proves it. The hipster effect, as explained by Bradis University researchers, goes like this.
Wait. What university?
Brandeis, Brandis, 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 Brandeis,
Oh,
Brandeis.
yeah.
Brandeis University researchers said that those in anti-conformist populations still conform to themselves. Eventually, as the review's editor, Gideon Litchfield, told NPR, so-called hipsters all end up adopting the same behavior or the same style. Case in point, as Litchfield detailed on Twitter last week, almost as soon as the Hipster Effect article went live, so as soon as she posted it, as soon as it was published, a man furiously emailed the magazine claiming a photo of him was slanderously used alongside it without his permission. He was, it turned out, mistaken. According to NPR, the reader decried the article as poorly written and insulting. Your lack of basic journalistic ethics and both the manner in which you reported this uncredited nonsense and the slanderous unnecessary use of my picture without permission demands a response, and I am on course pursuing legal action. So a white guy thinks he sees himself in the article, and his first thing to do is to immediately bash it and then threaten legal ramifications. He goes on to soon discover it isn't exactly slanderous, as he noted, because he had to dig into the photo itself, and Getty stock image it described as a shot of a handsome young man in trendy winter attire against a wooden background. So it wasn't him to begin with. Chris?
So that's kind of an issue then?
Apparently, in your community, you guys can't even tell your own selves apart. Here's a guy completely overreacting to an article, thinking it's about him, and just like a white man, it's not about him at all.
It's not that we think all black people look alike. We just think everyone looks alike.
Don't make his argument for him, Gardner. Let Chris put on his big boy pants and explain to me why every white guy in America looks like you, and you guys get upset when people point it out, even when you pointed out that you guys look alike. Explain.
So, you're a big fan of justice.
I
right?
am.
You're a fan of rules,
I am about the rule of law.
and you're going to chastise this handsome devil for playing by the rules. He was deceived by fake news media. You're not a fan of the media.
Oh, my goodness.
You hate it. You wish you were part of it, but you hate it.
How tooly you have
And
to
you're
be to
gonna and you're gonna do this. This guy exercises his God-given American right
be a tool?
to reach out professionally to say, "Hey, mister, this is going to be really funny when I realize it's not me."
All of
He
which
set it all up for a laugh.
hipsters look so much alike that they can't even tell themselves apart from each other.
Listen,
You guys always are talking about, man, we're doing it
When
different,
you're
man. We're
working-
not conformists.
when you
and
work
you
as
all
hard as he
look
does-
just like a broke-ass Brad Pitt.
when you work as hard as he does and you're busy not chopping down trees
Oh, boy.
and wearing flannel and growing a beard,
Shouting in the woods.
shouting wood, you occasionally get mixed up in the psychosis of today's modern media.
Oh, wow.
Do your research.
Oh, and do your research to top.
The simple fact is he was drugged by Cardi B and he
Oh,
had
my
lasting
God.
Oh.
There is no proof. There is no proof that happened.
Hang on.
Yeah, Travis, you
Hang on.
don't have
Hang on.
credibility on this.
Oh, no.
effects, allegedly.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
You can just say that. You can say anything. It's like saying, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he was drugged by Cardi B.
That's not how the law works. That's not how this
Oh, it
works at
actually
all.
is. We're legally covered now.
Yeah. And then robbed.
I think the best part about this story is that the guy
Allegedly.
immediately
Gotcha.
ran
Without mistake.
to the I'm using legal recourse move. Like, that is the ultimate white boy move when all else failed. And no, it's not even all else fails. It's the first thing that comes to mind. Not, let me be sure before I
Because
send a
the
very
system
passive
works for
aggressive.
him.
That's very true. Oh, that's a good point. Good point. The system is always in his corner, so he used a remedy that he knew was going to best suit him.
Dance puppet.
Yeah.
Dance Travis.
Yeah. Typical white man move, white man play, can't even tell himself apart, even more white manish. And then he tried to mansplain conformity.
Wait, what do you mean, that's not mansplaining.
That's exactly what he was trying to mansplain conformity
That's not
to a
mansplaining.
actual researcher.
Get your fair
Mansplaining
fouls
is
in,
to a
people.
woman.
I'm telling you, man. This is
It's not
white.
mansplaining.
And
I
all
think-
he did was try and tell Cardi not to put something in his drink.
Like, look, and my thing is, Cardi made a mistake.
Listen, I just crushed you, and I didn't even bring up the Cosby comparisons that are being made.
That's not necessary.
just wanted to note that.
That's not necessary.
I just wanted to note
she
that.
didn't put any in pudding.
I don't think he did either.
And I believe there was any sexual assault.
Right. Not relevant.
That's kind
That's why I didn't bring it up. It wasn't relevant.
I'm just saying that this is the most hip. Like, if you guys, this is what just comes back to white culture lacking culture because you're so busy appropriating other cultures, you don't even realize you're appropriating your own.
All right.
Like, you're at the point where now everything
All right,
looks
let's
alike
get
and
it.
has to be. So I would imagine.
All right, you're done.
Okay.
Let's
You're
get a
done.
fair and just arbitration.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Chris is going to lose some points here because the story's just embarrassing.
It is.
really is.
It's a
The
bad look
hipster
for the
one is-
community.
and we have to look. We
And
have
to
to
take
accept,
it that far.
Yeah, we have to accept that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is not a good look.
It's
I'll
not
take a
good.
slap on the wrist
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I think that should probably be a 100-point slap.
That is a 50-point deduction. So he's going to lose some points. That is an embarrassing story. Travis, you're going to lose some points here too.
Just maybe a few points. I don't have any lose a lot. I feel
And
like
you could lose 30. You could lose 50. That would be ideal for you. But it was robbery, Travis. It was drugging. So you're going to lose a few more points as well and go down to 720. Let's make it 710. You got some work to do. The Cardi B one was a good play by
that
Chris
was a
today.
good play. I kind of
Now, I'm going to dock you 10 more points for trying to put a damn manslaughter story in this game today. So you've been docked.
Okay.
What'd you start at? 750?
I started at 850.
No,
and
you
then
started
I got
at
deducted to
800.
and then I got at 800.
I think I took 100 away
Okay,
from
took
you. I
100
took
down.
50 away from Chris.
That's okay. That was a good
So-
story. Yes, that was very difficult to manage.
I did veto. I feel bad. All right, I'll give you 10 more
about
because
to
I
say-
felt bad about veto.
And how about another 10 because Cardi
What, you're negotiating?
Well, here's what I'm saying. Cardi is also she has Dominican.
I was waiting for
Puerto
this, and
Rican
you've
in
been
her
claiming
background.
her the whole
We are.
time.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying a lot
No,
of
you're
it. We shouldn't have to
deflecting.
incur a lot of that. We shouldn't take on 100% since she's not 100%.
No,
Well,
that's
then
fair.
then
So-
you don't get the
Oh,
success.
hold on, that's fair.
Oh, we get the majority of the success.
I'll
I'm not
add
saying we get all of
points.
it.
I'll add points. I'm adding 10 to Chris for you even bringing that up.
Thank you.
So 810 to 710. That's where we're going to leave it.
That's weak.
Yeah, you shouldn't have brought that up. That was unfair.
Okay.
That was a disingenuous argument.
I'm just saying, like,
Because next hit single, you're gonna be like, oh, for the culture.
I was the guy there last week that
I
was
saw you in
trying
one
to
of
get the
those Cardi
beer
B
out of your
t-shirts.
hand, and Chris was cheering you on when you had alcohol in your hand. He was trying to get
Wasn't
you to.
he the one in the background yelling, "Somebody stop him! No, don't!" And then you were standing right next to me.
I mean, I think you remember that wrong.
Oh.
I know that it happened that way.
Oh,
No, it
Okay.
didn't happen that way. It happens.
I guess I'd just be a bad witness in court.
I'm just saying. And I was like, and the funny thing is, I know the game is over with, so I'm not necessarily worried about the score. But this weekend, I did find some time to write about some extra characters in the story that I presented to Sesame Street, and I came up with a gardener, and it's this very delightful community member that
Is a gardener?
that uses the power of Post-it notes to basically free the world from mind control. And I'm not saying it was inspired by you, but I will say you are an inspiration. So with that in mind, just something to think about.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, it's art. I mean, it could happen today, it could happen tomorrow.
Okay,
but
well
I'm just,
then
you should take my word for it.
No.
You should. Okay.
Yeah. I don't take anyone's word.
Marcus says, Trav, you know that's a decent credit score, for you.
What's that name? Who was that?
It was Marcus.
Okay. Make sure you get
You would
that.
have seen him here earlier if you were here for that. Cardi B could manslaughter me. Hashtag am I right? Hashtag hey now. Hashtag womp womp.
Who is that, Chris?
It's from Billy Fat
Of
Pants.
course it was Billy Fat Pants.
Before we get
Shout out to Billy Fat Pants for all the support.
before we get to fair
Hit
foul,
share on the stream.
can I
Sorry, go ahead.
it's just a talking advertisement. Promotion. Promo, I should say.
There we go.
Big thanks to Dr. Ed at Hillside
Yeah,
Animal
there we go.
Hospital. Be
Yeah.
sure to
There we
get your
go.
animals over there.
Wanted to play a clip for you
Oh boy.
involving someone you adore.
Oh no.
Is that
Just
okay?
rain on Travis's parade day? What do we got here?
It involves this man.
Hey, Brock.
I thought he gave up on him after the rappers and chains and booties.
That was just for a week.
Like most things.
I picked the tan suit photo for you.
Thank you. It's a nice suit.
Questlove
Yes.
on a podcast. It was Malcolm Gladwell's podcast. I believe Rick Rubin's involved with it as well. It's called Broken Records.
For all you poor whites, Questlove is the drummer of The Roots and also can be seen on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, that nice gentleman on Jimmy Fallon.
He's got the afro and the pick in his hair.
Now, he played a party that apparently is quite legendary,
Yes, he did.
which was
Plays a lot of legendary parties.
Barack Obama's final night in the White House,
Oh, my.
and told a story on the podcast about this. And I wanted to play the clip,
I haven't heard this. I think I saw some of the clips, but I haven't actually heard the podcast. This should be interesting.
and I wanted to get your reaction. to
Okay,
this.
fire it away.
That famous party.
Fail. Oh, yeah, it was. So 2 hours into it, he taps me on the shoulder. He said, hey, you're doing a good job. I love the Donna Summer and the old school hip hop and the jazz, but look at them. They want to have fun too. And he's pointing to his kids. They're having a sit-in. And they're just like looking at me like, nah, none of this shit works. And man. So then I became the DJ I hated. I'm like Googling, all right, let me go to Spotify, see what kids are listening to, like that sort of thing. So I became that guy, the guy. And then suddenly that night became Animal House.
Oh, wow.
Like it was the most debaucherous, the most, I mean, I could describe the Smells Like Teen Spirit video to give you but it was like that crazy. They consider it the best night they ever had in their lives. And I'm having.
Isn't there I heard some story, possibly apocryphal, that involves Usher getting into it on the dance floor with who? With
Barack Obama. Like they're dancing.
Who does
Like
Barack
and he's
think
coming
he
up
is?
to me like, play do you have French Montana? And I was like, sir,
Wow.
I don't have the clean versions of that. He's looking like, we're all adults here. Go play it. I was like, sir, I'm not going to play Pop That Pussy, bitch. What you working with?
In the White House.
Questlove, one of the smartest people in the world. Absolutely. Look, he was like me when I was managing the restaurant and that guy hit me with the N-word. You got to think through what the immediate future is going to look like. And Quest, who's been around, like Quest has had his issues when the Roots band, I believe they had Sarah Palin on the Fallon show and they played a song that referred to the bitches back and he got a ton of blowback from the conservative media for doing that. So he has been baptized in the Fox News fire. He knows that anything he does from here on out, that it's going to be a major story for Limbaugh and Hannity. So I can absolutely understand where he is mentally in that moment going, Questlove's at it again, playing foul music with teenagers in the room. Like he absolutely knew, even though it was the president of the United States saying, go ahead, that he knew career-wise, that's another question he has to answer, and more heat on him and the band. So I give respect to Questlove.
But your president requesting that.
Man, Barack got different responsibilities than Questlove. Barack can get away with that.
Yeah.
Questlove, not so much.
Doing that
really-
at his private party, but in public, no twerking.
Yeah.
No twerking.
Yeah, and don't.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a good point.
And
That's a very
Questlove-
good point.
That's
Good
the
one.
hypocrisy of
It
the tan
is.
suit.
It is. He probably we won't be able to run for president now.
You cut it off before Questlove did his impression of Barack. Said, well, let's drone strike this room tonight, huh?
He didn't.
Killed the room.
You jerk.
Killed the room.
I think Questlove. That's one hell of a story. And two,
I would highly recommend going and listening to it, Travis, because I'd listened to more of it. And he talked about what Barack said to him afterwards, even, too.
interesting.
Telling him a story. And how it's still, like, Questlove was still upset about everything. He was also telling, like, about who was showing up at the parties. Like, Bruce Springsteen walked in and, like, was, like, shaking his... He's like, I could just see him shaking his head at me. Cause
Hey, anybody want any songs about working hard and teenage love falling in love with me? Huh? Be out of here. 2, 3. See it.
Is that the one party you would have...
That sounds like one hell of a party. Like that sounds like the
Would
party
you
of parties.
Would you rather been there or like the Viper Room in L.A. in the 80s?
That's a good question.
Ghost Adventures did an episode on that.
I guess they would. Overdoses in that
Right.
place.
Oh, yeah.
You just go in with Dr. Drew for the ghosts.
You could smell the residue still on the
It's
ghost.
a crossover episode or whatever.
Yes.
I don't know. as I become more of a celebrity, as I grow
Give him.
into
I don't want to be
this-
part of this. Camera 3. please.
as I grow, I don't know how it would be.
Yeah, get
to
your fair fouls
celebrate
in. We need a couple
with
more
celebrity.
submissions.
But I don't know how fun it would be to to party with celebrities. Like I see some of these events. Like I know Jay-Z does his big pre-Grammy brunch, and the celebrities, the who's who of the industry shows up, and it
Kanye
looks like
has
a really,
church every Sunday.
Oh, that's a whole nother story. But I love celebrity life mainly because as
Your
one,
celebrity.
like it allows when kids
I couldn't
see
even
me,
say it.
Yeah, when like kids see me, they're like, "Oh man, I know where you came from. You a big deal, Travis Terrell. We love you, Blackfish." And so children, when the
going
school
to the
buses
street.
drive by, they be like, "Oh, we love you, Blackfish," especially at the end of the show where you do the whole peace thing. That's really cool. It makes you look urban. And so having to deal with celebrity, I don't know how fun it would be to either spend a party around a bunch of celebrities or a bunch of peasants. And so I don't know.
Do you consider us peasants?
I wouldn't say you guys are peasants. I would just say you're talentless.
Working our way-
you
work-
lack talent.
working our way
And
up to
so
peasant.
I think you guys have potential to be average. And I think that is commendable considering you guys started life on third base. So, I mean, whatever you got to do. But I don't know if I would
Gardner,
have fun
what
in
year
it.
did you live in a trailer?
I'm not sure. I'd have
I think
to
I
find
lived in one briefly in like 1985 or 6.
it.
Would you call that third base?
Probably not. Probably not.
Okay. Just checking.
It's just rural.
I don't know. I think we were in a ghetto
What?
trailer.
Wait, you sure? Did your trailer have carpet?
No.
Stop lying. Don't lie. Most
Just
trailers
dead
have
rats.
carpets.
Just dead rats.
Nah, you lying.
Well, why do you
JPD
think
would never let dead rats into her house.
the challenges
Trailer or
facing
not.
rural life and urban life are not necessarily? There's some differences, but there's a lot of similarities there, Travis.
I mean, sure. You guys
No,
have
this is a fact.
No, I mean, we are sucking in exhaust from all the factories. And
No.
You guys are out in the rural part of the country
look at
sucking
the
in
socioeconomics
great
of
air.
the situations. That's all you have to look at. Look at the socioeconomics of those situations.
Yeah, and I'm sure Chris Trailer Park had security, so
Okay.
that big of a deal, huh?
Where are the churches? Where are the churches?
Yeah, where are the people to save us?
Religion is the opiate of the people. Karl Marx.
Wait, did I just get called Karl Marx? On
I
my
was
own
just
show?
quoting Karl Marx.
Oh, I was like, I'm not Karl Marx. That's too much.
Big thanks to Tech Electronics for supplying our studio. You see these mics? These cameras you're watching us through?
Don't do that.
That's going to drive us nuts, both of us.
You're gonna-
Get some of that mic. Get in that microphone. Get in there. There you go. You eat some of that microphone. You eat it.
35 years old.
30.
Just think about that. If you were a free agent in any sport, teams would be like, ah.
Damn.
That suck.
When you put it that
That
way.
suck. That not even like
It's so true. No one's signing me to a 4-year deal now.
you're on that.
I'm that 1-year
You're on that.
basis.
You're on that. Yeah,
Prove it
teams-
year.
Yeah, you're on that 6-month deal. Whenever somebody gets hurt, and they decide they don't want to burn somebody's AA contract up.
Damn, that means something like out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks later this year.
Yeah, for sure. And they're because they don't want to expose their minor league talent, so they're having you pitch meatballs to major leaguers.
I'm like, oh wow, I'm like Edwin Jackson now. I'm the Edwin Jackson age.
He's got a ring or two, doesn't he?
Yeah, it looks like I'm just jumping on for a team to pitch a few innings here and there to relieve some of the starters. That's the age I'm at.
Big thanks to Tech Electronics. Huge project with Tani Sushi Bistro getting ready to launch very soon.
Which we were. Gardner and I were there this past Friday.
Oh yeah, what happened?
We were present, and it was a who's who of St. Louis media.
Good time. Did you?
It was a great time.
Did you let people kiss your ring?
I did not. Gardner was the toast of the town.
Did you wear your carte
People
blanche?
know them some Gardner.
No, I had a Chesterfield County
He had his
shirt
Chesterfield County shirt, and you know the
Which-
the elitists they love. You know the rich people laugh. I get it because it's a county.
Did the TV and radio folks look down on you mere podcasters?
Nah, you know what? I was surprised.
on. I had a guy come up to me and go, tap me on the arm and go, "Aren't you the bullpen cart guy?"
That's
I was
hilarious.
like, "Yeah, yeah."
As noted by Danny Mac.
And I was talking to Chris Davis briefly as I was leaving.
KSDK Zone.
Our friend.
Yes, friend of the show, brother of the show.
talking to him for a minute, and then he was also chatting with Abby LaRocco, I believe is how you say her name, a Channel 5 reporter.
Yes.
And she saw the Chesterfield County shirt, and she's like, "Where'd you get that?" I go, "Well, we make them."
By Jack.
She's like, I need to get one of those for someone. I'm like, "For who?" She's like, "Rennie Knott.
That's
Rennie
amazing.
Knott loves Chesterfield so much, he won't stop talking about Chesterfield." I go,
He does love his shirt.
I go, "Okay, we can get Rennie a shirt. Tell him you talked to the baseball Jesus," as Rennie would call me and still calls me.
Beautiful.
And so Rennie Knott needs to get a Chesterfield County shirt, we found out. And
Nice.
then Travis had a conversation with Mr. Carricker, Randy Carricker.
I did?
Fastlane on 101
Oh,
ESPN.
You didn't duck him? You didn't see somebody you appreciated that's got some celebrity and go,
I just told Carricker, don't you dare take fair foul.
And
I
then
should
Gardner
recommend that,
created
too.
Take It or Leave It on their show.
Yeah.
What
I'm
did
just
Carricker have to
saying
say?
as well.
Oh, really? That was you? What Carricker have to say? Did you get any words in? Is he going to come in and be a guest?
Well, we could get Randy in.
Ask him at some point.
Yeah.
When you're playing golf with him? Your
Actually, that's what
your
we
little
were talking
celebrity
That's what they were
pairing.
talking about.
Yeah.
They were
Actually,
talking about their golf.
I told him I got some new
That's
irons.
when I left the conversation.
And
'cause
then-
I
and
knew
then
right
Randy-
and there that
Randy
that conversation
handed-
wasn't for me. I was like, yeah, Gardner's never taken me golfing. So
And then
I'll
Randy
just walk
handed
over here by
Travis a
myself.
half-filled rocks glass. Said, "Why don't you freshen that up?"
Yeah. He basically.
Oh, Randy did say, I have to go back and listen to their show, podcast, their 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, he did use a phrase of yours.
He used a phrase of mine on his co-host Chris Ranji and called him an anti-buntite.
Nice.
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I used anti-buntite." I'm like,
Chris
like-
Gardner,
he's like,
everybody.
"Let's try and get that going again." And so we're gonna work on that.
Perfect.
But we had a great time. I'd never been there before.
It was very nice. I had
Hey.
a great time, and I love the
A nice facility.
Oh, Tawny's
the
amazing.
amazing Christina Coleman and the great Eric Messersmith.
Where are they headed to?
Can't say officially yet, but they are heading to bigger and
Not
better
St.
things.
Louis.
Not St. Louis, but they have a great, tremendous opportunity. Let's just say that.
Good for them.
A game changer, as the kids say.
Yeah.
So
Glad
we're
to
excited
hear
for
that.
them, and good for them. Couldn't happen to a better family.
Great to hear. We've been lucky to have them in St. Louis. Guys, it's time for some fair or foul.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
In the meantime, I could
so-
tell you about our friend.
defining moment. Change has come to
Hey, that's President Obama.
People often ask me, what's fair or
People
foul?
actually asked me on my
Is
birthday.
it a segment?
They
Is
were
it a
out, and I
movement?
was like, hey man,
No.
we're gonna
Is
do
it
some
hope?
fair or foul today.
I can't say for certain.
Like fair,
Time will
that
be a true
ass.
test of its power.
Foul,
but
that
I can
ass.
say fair or foul is
Well,
now
yeah, a
and
little fun with
forever
it.
for the people.
It is for
Gather
the people.
around the radio with your loved ones and hold on to your butts. It's now time for fair
We give it back to you, the people. I sound just
or
like that.
foul.
It's the segment where my mother calls. I think I've heard about that one before. It's fair or foul.
It is. Trap karaoke is your topic. Just a couple of them here today. Fair, Trav, when are you coming to my neighborhood and we can hit CW's Lounge or the Zodiac Lounge for some trap karaoke? I know what you're thinking. My skin color might present a problem, but don't worry. I'm following Denman's lead and have decided to live my life as a black man to make arguing easier. The JVL Jackal.
That's a good point. I like this move. The
Did he
blacker
came
the
and picked-
people get, the better our society shall be.
That's
rule of
definitely
thumb.
how that works. That's the JVL Jackal who picked up some prizes on Friday.
Oh, he did indeed.
He did. Worked security at our door for the rest of the
God,
time.
I didn't realize Joe Thomas was coming through the door.
And the other one, Fair. Finally, a place for my grandpa to get drunk and say the N-word a lot that isn't Thanksgiving dinner. That's the Black Sheep. Gramps doing trap karaoke. Would you accept that?
It may work.
Okay. Guys, who we picking? JVL Jackal or the Black Sheep? Gardner?
I'll go JVL.
I'll go Black Sheep.
Ooh, this is a tough one. JVL Jackal has won. Fair or foul. Black Sheep with a valiant effort. Got to give it to JVL. I just like seeing him on Fridays when he pops in to pick up his prizes. He's a regular.
He's a good guy.
What do you think about the show so far today?
I would probably give it a C-,
We'll
but
do
that's
another
not
couple
bad.
hours.
Let's not. Let's just stop where we're sort of kind of ahead.
Thank you to everybody for listening. If you listen on iTunes, throw us a review. We always take 5-star reviews. We love that. If you're watching the stream, whether it's live or later on, hit share. Helps us whether it's live or not. We appreciate all the support. Big thanks to everybody here at Midcoast Media. Check out our website, midcoast.media. Look forward to Stacy Static's podcast launching this Friday. You know her from 20 years on the air on FM radio. She's going to be working right out of here. Talking to Matt Whitener today. Matt Whitener recently had a birthday. Whew, good stuff happening here at Mid Coast Media. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow live at 8 a.m.